Hey, my college football peeps, it's Walk It Off with Chappy, Week 1 edition, Labor Day weekend kickoff edition. Do you know how excited I am that we are on the eve of a 5-day extravaganza of nonstop college football, and it starts tomorrow, Thursday night. Got a couple picks for you. So we're going to begin with the backyard brawl. Pitt hosting West Virginia. Number 16 Pitt, the reigning ACC champions. They are laying 7.5 points against the West Virginia Mountaineers. As I see this, I think the better play here would be taking the over 51, and here's why. I think Pitt's offense is going to be pretty good. Keaton Slovis can throw the football, and despite the loss of Jordan Addison and Stovall and Shaki Jacques-Louis from last year's team, they still have Jared Wayne. They get Kenante Mumfield, a transfer from Akron, who's pretty darn good. A sneaky All-American candidate at tight end in Gavin Bartholomew. Really good offensive line. But on the other side, you've got Graham Harrell coming over and kind of reuniting with JT Daniels as OC and quarterback tandem. So I think that the points are going to be put up. Neil Brown has been a pretty good coach as an away dog, which he is, and from a report from ESPN, there's going to be a lot of West Virginia fans in attendance, maybe even outnumbering Pitt fans. So that's a challenge to you Pitt Panther fans. So I'm going to take the over 51, and if you want a point spread, I think it's safe to go Pitt minus 7.5, but the over 51 is better. The other game, Penn State traveling to West Lafayette to take on the Purdue Boilermakers. A lot is being hoped for the Boilermakers this year with Aiden O'Connell coming back. I think that they're a tad overrated at the moment. I really think that Penn State could be a player, and we could have a very thick top of the Big Ten East with Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State. I expect the ground game to become resurgent. I think the offensive line will give Sean Clifford and those running backs enough time. Nick Singleton, Katron Allen, the two freshmen, and then Kevon Lee. But the biggest thing is the defense, the pass defense for Penn State. This is an underrated group. So of all that people want to make about Aiden O'Connell and being able to chuck it around the yard, he's still got a relatively new cast of wide receivers, and none that really scare me like Moore and David Bell did. I actually think that Purdue's chances would be improved if they can incorporate a run game. Samson James and then CMU transfer Kobe Lewis, who sat out last year with an injury. So provided that he's eligible, I think that it would be wise to try and throw Penn State off their game, because when you're chucking the ball in that back seven with a middle linebacker I really like in Kobe King, I think he's going to have a standout redshirt freshman season. Curtis Jacobs and Jonathan Sutherland are athletic outside linebackers that will help in pass defense. But then you look in that secondary, Joey Porter Jr., Kalen King as their corners, standout corners. And then you got Jair Brown, an all Big Ten type free safety, and they've got depth behind that. Not to mention Manny Diaz is a guy, as a new D coordinator, he knows how to coach defense. He's aggressive, and I think that that's going to come in handy for this Penn State team. So I would take the Nittany Lions minus 3.5 to go in and win soundly over Purdue, kind of ruining their home opener, which, by the way, James Franklin, in 8 years at Penn State, 6-2 in season openers, 5-3 in road openers, but 2 of those 3 losses have come by a combined 4 points. A 3-point loss a few years back at Pittsburgh when he was early on in his Penn State tenure, and then of course in 2020 that controversial 1-point loss to Indiana, where there was the debate of did Michael Penix cross the goal line or not. So Franklin and his Penn State teams perform well in openers. We remember what they did going to Madison last year and basically stymieing a Wisconsin team that a lot of people had high hopes for. So again, give me Penn State minus 3.5. And I also think that it should go under the point total of 53.5. I think that the Penn State defense will limit the points scored. And then again, in the backyard brawl between West Virginia and Pitt, give me the over 51. I think both the Mountaineers and the Panthers are going to score some points, despite the fact that Pitt does have a pretty good defense. I like what the West Virginia offense could look like in that one. So I'm Chappy. This is what I know. This is what I love. Can't explain how excited I am for Week 1 college football. Let's go!